Is Carlos Alcaraz really that good? Is he worth the hype? In this video, we'll be answering this question and letting you know just how good this bundle of talent is. So sit back and relax as we bring to you this exceptional player and let you know just how good he really is. The current number one is undoubtedly one of the great turnovers happening in the world of tennis since the Big Three's era. Who can argue with that? Not after witnessing the exemplary skills he possesses and how fierce he has grown to be when facing an opponent. He's rising fast in tennis beyond what anyone could imagine of a player his age. But really, how good is Alcaraz? Just what makes him as exceptional as people say he is? Before we go any further, let's get to know him. Carlos Alcaraz Garcia was born on the 5th of May in 2003 in El Palmar, Murcia, to his father, Carlos Alcaraz Gonzalez, and mother, Virginia Garcia Escandon. Carlos began playing tennis at the tender age of 4 at the Real Sociedad Club in Murcia, where his father, Gonzalez, was the tennis academy instructor. Before this, he also played tennis professionally in Spain, reaching the top 40 before he retired in the early 90s. Coming from such a background, it's no surprise Carlos chose a career in that field at such a tender age. Of course, who would be surprised when he literally grew up in such an environment? By 2018, Carlos registered at Juan Carlos Ferrero's Sports Academy, where he trained full-time for tennis. By the time he was 16 in 2020, he had received a wild card to contest at the Rio Open, where he had defeated Albert Ramos Vinolas and won his first ATP match, but lost in the second round to Federico Coria. Through his win, he definitely made a statement, announcing his arrival to the world of professional tennis. He won 3 challenger events in the rest of 2020 and ranked the year 138. By 2021, Alcaraz qualified for the Australian Open and made it up to the second round before losing to Michael Ymer. Although he didn't win the match, he was the youngest to play in the men's singles. Moving on to the Madrid Open, he also had a wild card to play in this tournament. He won his first game against Adrian Mannarino and broke Rafael Nadal's 18-year-old record from 2004 as the youngest to win a Madrid Open match. Unfortunately for Alcaraz, he lost in the second round after he faced Rafael Nadal. What did he think? Going up against the king of clay himself. However, he moved on to play at the 2021 Open de Oris 3 Challenger, entering the tournament as the youngest player at 18, eventually winning the title. Carlos kept playing in as many matches as possible to boost his skills and, more importantly, move up his rank. He played in the French Open in 2021, but lost in the third round. All these losses only pushed him further to greater things. As he won his first ATP final in July 2021, he reached his final and ended up defeating Richard Gasquet and becoming the youngest tour-level champion since Kei Nishikori in 2008. This victory also made him the youngest Spaniard to win the ATP Tour title since Nadal in 2004. His constituent comparison to a big name like Rafael Nadal is nothing short of extraordinary. This is because he always seems to either catch up or supersedes Nadal's records at intervals. He got into the US Open in 2021 and won his first 2 rounds before announcing himself to the world in the third round when he faced Stefanos Tsitsipas in a final set tie break. Carlos won the match, and Stefanos said, "I felt like he played the 5th set completely. The way he played the first set basically careless, going for every single shot," he said. "I have never seen someone play such a good 5th set, honestly." Yeah, Stefanos, that is just the tip of the iceberg of how astonishing a player Carlos truly is. Alcaraz advanced in the competition but lost in the quarterfinals to Felix Auger-Aliassime after retiring from the match due to a leg injury. Even though he lost, he became the youngest man in the US Open 4th round since Pete Sampras in 1989. One can only imagine how far he would have gone if he didn't sustain that leg injury. He featured in the next-gen ATP match and won the championship after defeating Sebastian Corda at the finals. But at the end of the 2021 season, Alcaraz entered the top 50 and was ranked number 31. Looking at how fast he progressed, I believe we can all agree about how unique a player he is. Fortunately, Alcaraz has had a smoother 2022 compared to the previous season. He broke into the world's top 20 in February and became the youngest winner of an ATP 500 event by taking the Rio Open title against Diego Schwartzman. He went on to play at the Indian Wells Master 1000 and lost in the semifinals to Rafael Nadal after pushing him to 3 sets. He played in the Miami Open and won his first Masters 1000 title against Casper Ruud, becoming the youngest men's champion in the tournament's history. There sure are a lot of firsts for this youngster, and it doesn't seem like he's taken a break at making a name for himself in the annals of tennis. Before the month was out, more history was made for Alcaraz. He went on to play the Barcelona Open, where he defeated Pablo Carreno Busta to win the title. After this victory, he became the youngest player to break into the world men's top 10 since Rafael Nadal in 2005. Once again, the comparison with Nadal comes in. No doubt the king of clay already has a prince to take over his kingdom. In May, he won the Madrid Open after defeating Nadal in the quarterfinals and Djokovic in the semifinals. It was not a small feat, as no player had ever taken down Nadal and Djokovic in back-to-back matches during the same clay court tournament. This victory solidified his claim to the clay kingdom and further made his fans admit that he was indeed worthy of being Nadal's successor. He went on to the finals, defeated Alexander Zverev, and became the first player to defeat the world number 3 and second seed defending champion since 2007. After David Nalbandian in the Madrid Open, Carlos became the youngest player since the ATP start in 1990 and the youngest champion in the tournament's history. Unfortunately, he lost in the French Open quarterfinals and the last 16 at Wimbledon. In late July, he became the second youngest player in the 21st century to be ranked in the world men's top 5 after Nadal. Are we really ignoring just how much he is being compared to Nadal? It's insane! Then came the US Open. He entered the tournament ranked number 3 and beat everyone on his way up to the final, where he defeated Casper Ruud and became the youngest man to become number 1 in the history of the ATP ranking. He also became the youngest US Open men's finalist since Pete Sampras won in 1990. Isn't that breathtaking? How did he do this, and at such a young age? To show you just how extraordinary Carlos is, comparing all he has achieved at his age to the wins of the Big Three. First ATP title. Alcaraz won his first title when he was 18 and 3 months, while Nadal won his first ATP 8 days before his 18th birthday. For Federer and Djokovic, they won theirs at 19. First Masters title. Alcaraz was a month shy of his 19th birthday when he won his first Masters title at the Miami Open, while Nadal was 2 weeks younger when he lifted his first Masters. Djokovic was 19 and Federer was 21 when he won his first Masters. Quickest to 50 wins. It took Alcaraz 70 matches to reach this milestone, while Djokovic had 79 matches, Nadal 81, and Federer 97. First Grand Slam title. Nadal was the first to reach this milestone after he snatched his first Grand Slam title at the French Open in Monte Carlo, 2 days after his 19th birthday, followed by Alcaraz, who won the 2022 US at 19 years and 4 months. Djokovic was 20 years and 8 months, and Federer was almost 22 when he had his first Grand Slam. These comparisons to the Big Three keeps giving us goosebumps because we are made to wonder, who the hell is this guy? Being a Spaniard, there is so much comparison between Nadal and Carlos, and having so many wins not far from each other shows that Carlos is indeed a replica of Nadal. There is no doubt that the Spaniard has arrived at the top of world tennis and will triumph there for a very long time. There is so much that makes Carlos good, and apart from his wins, his most incredible skill of turning his defense to offense, high peak foot speed, and never say never attitude help him win his games. He is also very good at turning his opponent's leads into unforced errors. Sinner, Cilic, and Tiafoe have 181 unforced errors against Alcaraz. He has Novak Djokovic's resilience and Nadal's willpower, and if he stays injury-free and maintains his great sportsman spirit and humility, he will indeed surpass many more than before. What more can we do but keep watching and keep marveling at the sight of a talent as extraordinary as Carlos? He has given us a sense of relief and belief that truly, the end of the Big Three era would pave the way for someone as extraordinary and exemplary as him. We surely are in for a ride with Carlos on the wheel. So, with all you now know about Carlos Alcaraz, I ask you, how good is Carlos Alcaraz? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.